Okay, guys and gals, today we are going to replace the wheel hub, which includes the wheel bearing on the rear wheel of this 2016 CRV. I've already completed the one on the other side. It's as wheel hubs go, or as bearings go, it's a fairly easy job. I was surprised how quick it goes. You don't need any air impact wrenches to do this, or air impact tools. I have them, but I'm not going to do that, just so to show you that you can do it with just hand tools. You're probably going to need a breaker bar though, and a torque wrench, because this center hub nut is torqued to 134 foot-pounds, so you want to get that correct. You can buy a torque wrench. I bought this, actually, I had one at Home Depot I bought years ago, and it just broke on me after about 30 years. It was a Husky, and they gave me a new one, free. So, don't know if this one will be as good as the other one. It's got a nice box, but it'll work. So, this thing to buy is about $90. It costs a lot more than $90 to have someone replace this for you. So if you have some basic skills, you could probably do this. There's some things you have to do to be careful though. So we're going to do this by hand, and we'll show you how it's done. Okay, you can do this without a floor jack. You can use your jack out of the car. For years and years and years, I used my tire jack out of my cars to raise them. When I didn't have much money, I need to save money, and they work fine. But if you can someday get one of these floor jacks, oh my gosh, so much easier. But you don't need it. You can use a tire jack. You should have a jack stand, something to put underneath. I like to have at least 2 points of contact, maybe 3 sometimes, depending on what you're doing. And it needs to go up a little bit more. Right there, under the back frame. Send it back down, testing it. Will it hold it? Yeah. That's still off the ground. Yep. Alright. So I have 2 things holding it, the jack and the jack stand. And I didn't put the car in park. Well, the car's in park, but these things will spin. But guess what? You don't have to do anything special. Inside car, probably never use this, but right here, it's a parking brake. Push it down. And it's tight. That's the parking brake grabbing. So, let me go and find my other tools. Hold on, I'll be right back. You don't need one of these pads until you hit about 50. I used to kneel on the cement all day long. It didn't bother me. Now it does. So, it doesn't bother me when I'm doing it. It's the next day. My knees are all puffed up, and what in the world was I doing yesterday? Which one is it? It's usually this one that's really shiny. Nope, it's not that one. How about this one? Yep, that's 19 millimeter. So you need a 19 millimeter. Take this off. Breaker bar. Ooh, that General's got tight lugs. it out. There we go. Here's that nut that you have to take off, but we're going to do that a little bit later. We need to take off this, I'm not doing a brake job because my brakes are in great shape, but you do have to take this caliper off. You don't have to take the brake pads off. If you want to change the brakes you do, but we're not doing that. So we're just going to replace, let's see, what do we have here? Size of these guys. I guess. Not that one. How about this one? The shiny one. Yep. So that one is 17 millimeters. Ooh, that baby's on there. You know what? You got the torque wrench. Why not just use it? Not the torque wrench, the breaker bar. It's breaking my hand. Oh yeah, that's a lot easier. A little extra leverage helps. Sometimes I do repair jobs and I won't be able to get a bolt off with a wrench. And then I'll give it to my grandson who's 6. Say, go ahead, take that off. I can't do that, Grandpa. Yes, you can. And I'll put a pipe on the end of the wrench, and he moves it, takes it right off. He says, was it really that easy? Yeah, leverage makes a big difference. So there's 2 bolts that hold this caliper on in the back. You can find it. They're right there. There it is, and I'm going to rest this on here for right now. Don't want to put any pressure on that brake line, but I do want to disconnect it. I'll show you. Hold on. Show what I'm doing. All right, so this strain relief right here. This is I think it's a 10 millimeter. Pull that thing off. It'll give us a little extra strain relief, so this caliper doesn't get ruined or hurt. We have to take this sensor off. See this sensor? No, because my hand's in the way. Where is it? Right down there. This bolt has to come off. That's also a 10 millimeter, I believe. And it's this plastic, so you gotta be very careful. Kind of wiggle it side to side, then pull it straight out. Back in the day, I've replaced a few of these on my Accords and my older CRVs. 98, I had a 98 Accord, I had 2 98 Accords and 2 98 CRVs, and those things after a while would just get rusted and frozen in there. You couldn't get them out. I had to replace the whole sensor, but Honda must have got their act together or something, because the other one just on the other side just pulled right out and I could reuse it. So we gotta be careful on that. And so we're gonna take that off, and I'll put you back up on the stand for the rest. So 10 millimeter, this wrench, and no, I was wrong. That must be a 12. The strain relief on the strain relief on the brake line is a 12 millimeter. Tight. I might put a little WD-40 or grease or something on that when I put it back in, just to keep it from still. Yeah, it looks like I've high temperature greased that one before. Okay, I'm going to take that sensor out. It's not in there very tightly. I mean, that's like couple foot-pounds, not much. There's not much. You don't have to crank it down when you put it back in. all I'm going to do is slide it back and forth a little bit. You don't want to bend it. And then it comes straight out. You just, after you slide it back and forth a couple times, you'll pivot, and then you just slide it straight out. There it is. It's in good shape still. I'm going to get him out of the way so we don't break him. Probably won't be a good idea to put it in the... I think it'll be okay there. Now, let's take this guy off. So here's another thing you're going to need, that breaker bar. This socket, you probably won't have a socket that size. Let me go and see. I think I have it over here on the bench actually. Okay, it's this one. It's 32 millimeters. You might have to buy that socket. What I did is I bought a set from Harbor Freight. It's a 3/4 inch drive. You don't use it a lot, but man, when you need it, it's nice to have it. So, see how this thing's pinged down here on this key? I like to bend that back out. This thing has enough torque, when you turn it, it'll just bend it anyway, but I like to kind of pre-bend it. Alright, so bend this out a little bit. I'm going to use this same punch to aim what I'm hitting at here. Whoa. See, that's why you have to have this thing on there safely, so you don't... Yeah, that's a little less precarious. Protect your brake line. If you fell down there, you could break your brake line, then you got to do another repair, but we're okay still. It's in good shape. All right, so if we didn't put that parking brake on, when you go to turn this, the whole thing's going to turn. So I've got this breaker bar. I think I got the gusto to pull it off. Yep. Not too bad. Alright, now these guys, first one I ever did, try to use a regular screwdriver, and we're in the Rust Belt, we're in Michigan, things get rusty. I stripped it. I've done a couple of them where I stripped them, then you gotta drill it out, which is not the end of the world, but I bought, hold on, it wasn't very expensive. And you don't need to do this. You can drill it out, which is a lot more work. I think I paid 20 bucks for this thing. I don't know what they are now. They could be more expensive, but highly worth it. If you're going to do if you're going to do this job, it's a, what do they call this thing? It's an impact driver. So, a little get you around there, and when you hit this one, you hit it with a hammer, and it turns ever so slightly. Get that in there. And since I bought this thing, I've done probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 of these things. So it's taken out, and they used to have 2 screws, I think, on them. Maybe not, but I have not stripped one since. They come right out every time, even in the Rust Belt. And I've done this one before because I put some high temperature grease on that, so it makes it even easier. But this thing is the cat's meow. Alright, so this should come off now. I don't know, nope, yeah, it will, but it's going to rust down there, so we have to get a couple of screws here, which I wish I could tell you what these were. I took these off of a Honda, off of a bracket, I think. You can see see I have the little 8 design on there. They're Honda bolts. What size are they? I think they're 12 millimeter on the head, but I don't know what the thread count is, but it's a metric, and you just screw them in here once you get it started. And what it does is it pushes on that hub and it pulls the thing out. It's a lot easier than banging on these things. If you're going to replace your rotor, this brake rotor, yeah, you can beat on it with a hammer or something and it'll ruin it, but you can get it off that way. But this is so much easier. If you don't have one of these screws, go buy 2 of them, or buy one. One is enough. You can kind of switch it back and forth. Go to the auto parts store and get one, because this is so much easier to watch this thing. It just pushes it right off. You'll see it'll start moving right here. And you know what I could do? I could spray some WD-40 on there to make it even easier. Let's do that. I don't have any WD-40. I'm running out. Or you can use PB Blaster, which is even better. Spray a little some kind of lubricant in there, just to make it a little easier. See it pushing? See the thing moving? Just moving it right off. I like to do both sides because sometimes you can get cocked if you just do one. It won't come off, but this one's going to come off fairly easily. Still a little bit tricky. Yeah, it's still on there. You know what? I think I need to take the parking brake back off. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I did. Parking brake was holding it. Which is who's moving my brake shoes. Sorry guys, I got mechanics out there yelling at me, hey, you forgot to... Yeah, gotta take the brake, because a parking brake is, these shoes are pushing out against the drum, so that's why it didn't want to come out. It was moving, these things were moving out like this. So, but we're good. Now, there's 4 bolts on the back holding this hub on. I can show you, I'll get the other hub so I can show you what it looks like, what I'm going to be taking off. Alright, so on this guy, I like to use OEM parts. They just last longer, at least on a Honda. So here's your part number for this hub. On a 2016 CRV, I believe the 2012 to 2016s are all the same. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they are. But make sure you get the right one. Here's the hub with the bearing included. There it is. Beautiful thing. So there's 4 bolts in the back. And I believe they're at, I don't know what the torque on those are. I'll tell you in the video description. I think they're like 30 foot-pounds. So I need to take those 4 bolts out, and this thing will just come right off.
so much easier than doing a wheel bearing on the front. But you know what? I can let that sit like that. All right, I'll just let this roll, and when it becomes boring, we'll just fast forward through it. How's that sound? Where'd my gloves go? There they are. I like to have my gloves on just to get the grease off my hands. And if you slip, keeps your knuckles from getting scraped sometimes. All right, so what size of bolt do we have back here? It's bigger than that one. How about this one? Smaller than that one. I would say it's a 17. Let's look. No. Oh, wait a minute. Sometimes if the thing doesn't fit on there, see this half shaft? There's a boot on the half shaft, and it's got a band that's crimped on it, and the crimp is right in the way of where the bolt is. So you just got to rotate it a little bit. Yep, it's right on there. So it's a 17. Came right off, loosened up. I didn't have my coffee this morning, that's why I'm so jittery. So how do you know if the wheel bearing's bad? On a Honda, it's really tough. When it gets really bad, you grab the wheel, and you can, when the tire's on there, and you grab the wheel, you'll hear it moves ever so slightly. Up and down, side to side, both. If it only does one, like, it might not be the wheel bearing, but this one, it wasn't moving, but I could hear a noise. It sounded like, like snow tires. You have tires that the tread's really worn, and when you go down the highway, it just makes that noise. Well, I have winter tires and summer tires on this car, so when I swapped them out this spring for the summer tires, and it was still making the same noise, I'm like, okay, both sets of tires don't make the same noise. My wheel bearings are probably bad. Sure enough, when I replaced the one on the other side, and the other one on the other side, you could move the tire ever so slightly, and I replaced it, and hey, everything's quiet for about a week. And then this one started, I still have the same sound, so I should have replaced them both at the same time, and I did buy 2 hubs to do them both. But it's probably a good idea. If one's going to wear out, the one on the other side is going to wear out. And I'm assuming the front ones will wear out too. They're a different design, and they're a little bit more tricky. You have to have a press to put those in. So, and if you're like me, I bought a press. It was still cheaper to buy a press, do the job myself, than to pay someone to do it. And I can do it on my time frame, but it takes a little bit more skill to do that one. All right, you know what? I'm gonna hit my arm on that. I'm gonna just do the old tap-tap-a-roo. Am I going the right way? No, I'm tightening it. Got people yelling at me again. Hey, dummy, you went the wrong way. Yeah, we're good. Didn't move it too much. I used to be able to just grab stuff and crank it when I was a muscle brute. Not a muscle brute anymore. Wouldn't mind. Start lifting weights again. So now if I finally just hit it, it'll go too. But I'm not using an impact driver, and you couldn't even get an impact driver in here very easily. You'd have to have a universal joint. You can do this with hand tools. Doesn't take that much longer. If this was a front wheel bearing, it would take me all day. This thing, it's going to take less than an hour. Famous last words, right? Let's see if I get this one over here. There he is. Now, right again? Let me find out. Yep, okay. See, I can move it. You just gotta grunt some. It's easier just to whack it. It does, oh man, it makes you feel good when you can take a bolt off like that. Still got it. 30 foot-pounds. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing 30. Maybe it's 50. Don't quote me. When we put it back together, I'll put it in the description how many foot-pounds it was. Or you can ask Grok. You ever use Grok? Oh my gosh, how easy is that? Hold on, we'll ask him. Hold on, right now. You don't even have to. All right, Glockenspiel. Here he is right here. What should the bolts be torqued to on a 2016 CRV wheel hub assembly on the back? "47 foot-pounds. Heh. What did I say? 30? 30 to 40? 47. There you go. Do you trust it? You know, if he would have said 70, I'd say, nah, Grok, you're not right. Or 25, nah, I don't think so, Grok. But when he said, yeah, you know, they're not always right. AI is not always right. They're getting a lot better, though. I'm telling you what. It's kind of scary, actually. All right, there's one to go. Bottom one on this side. Right? Yep, there he is. Ooh, I might have to go get the wrench in there. Oh yeah, I can. Watch your fingers, John. There he goes. A shallow well socket might work a little bit better than a deep well, but you can get a deep well back there for this job anyway. Like I said, whenever I've done any job on my cars, I found that I can buy the tools to do the job, and it's still cheaper than paying a mechanic to do it. An OEM mechanic anyway. Alright, so this guy, we can tap-a-roo him because we're going to replace this. So I'm just going to tap this on the side. Oop, stay there. Don't tap the brake shoes. There's nothing holding this hub on. This hub, right now, the screws are out, the bolts are out, but it's still kind of, see, there's a ridge there, and it's a little bit of rust there, so the rust is holding it. I could spray it with some PB Blaster. I don't think it'd make a huge difference, but. And this is silicone, which it's not as good as the penetrant PB Blaster. I mean, for this application, it works great for lubricating stuff. Don't hit your shoes. There it comes. I can feel it moving. I'm pulling with my fingers. It's moving. Ever so slightly. Coming. Don't push that axle too much because you could goof up the CB joint. It's coming very. It's moving. I can feel it moving. There it goes. All right, here we go. That? There it is. Yeah, it looks a little crusty, rusty, but and you know what? It feels quite loose compared to. But try to wiggle it side to side. You can't really feel that. It doesn't feel bad, but it is. I'm gonna clean this out with something. Get some. What should I use? I'm gonna use some of this stuff. It's got a little bit of rust in there. I wanna wipe that down so the new hub goes in there nicely. Yeah, it's got a gookie. Yeah, I've got it. There's a little bit of. I could get a screwdriver to wipe some of that. It's coming out. It's like greasy, garny gopher guts in there. All right. I don't like getting my garage floor dirty. Someday I'd love to have one of those epoxy floors, but they're not cheap. This feels like there's a little ridge there. I wonder if I could just grab it with this. It's not bad. You know what I'm going to do as well? I'm going to put some grease on this shaft on the spline. Yep, getting stiff. You probably don't need high temperature grease here. This doesn't get that hot, but that's what I have available. So, got the grease downstairs. I don't want to go that far. This stuff, you get it on your fingers. It does not want to come off. It's like, you don't need much either. You just want it to be able to slide on there. Keep it from getting rusty. It'll be easier to take off the next time in another 160,000 miles. Don't think I'll have it then, but you never know. I've had several Hondas over 300. I've had a couple at 370. Still going strong. The people that bought it, was nicer than the car that they sold. I couldn't believe how nice it was at 370,000 miles. A 1998 Accord. All my kids learned to drive on it. It was a stick, 5-speed stick. My son drove to college. He kept it for a while. And finally sold it. Great car. I replace some parts every once in a while, but I think the first thing I replaced was an alternator at 180,000 miles. It sounds crunchy, doesn't it? That's just it's the half shaft sitting in the back. There's a little bit of rust, but I'm not going to move that out and clean it. That's fine. All right, so we got to put this back in. Just got to be careful that you don't whack the. You'd hate to whack the brake shoes like I just did earlier. Line the splines up. They go right on like that. And then these bolts, you know, I don't know if they need. I don't think they need any grease. They look fine. I think they're fine. 17 millimeter. Put it back in. We get to start with my fingers. So remember, the other side was a little tricky to get them started. You got to get them lined up just right. Oh yeah, I'm off a little bit. I gotta turn this thing ever so slightly. There it goes. I think it's real close. It's real close. Let's see if we can start it. really close. It's not started yet, I don't think. Oh yeah, it is. It started. Pretty sure it did. Let me see. No, what am I turning? Not the right thing, that's for sure. There we go. Yeah, it started. All right, next side. We're gonna tighten it down in the star pattern once we get them all started. Is this one starting already? Oh, it's lined up. It's easy. All right, get this one started a little bit better. There's that one. Do one on this side, down the bottom. Can't find the. I'm not saying it. I'm not gonna say it. All right. That one started. Oh, this one's this one's even easier than the other side. I had to, when I got the other one in, the first bolt on the other side, and went to get the second one in, I couldn't get it lined up. I tried and tried and tried. I had to take it back out, and the first one, and finally repositioned a little bit, and then they all lined up. But this one lined up right off the bat. Yep, they're all lined up. So basically, we're just gonna put it back together. That's it, guys. I could fast forward it, but you're having so much fun watching this. We'll just keep it going. And what'd they say, 47 foot-pounds for this? Where did I use you guys probably can see it, I can't see it. Where's my socket? Is it back? Oh, it's back there. It's still got it back there. I find it's easier to turn with your fingers until it gets tight instead of using a wrench. A lot of times you can't do that in the rust belt. These things will be rusty, but I find the bolts a lot of times. I don't know, the engineers just know how to put stuff together where it doesn't get rusty. Alright, one more. Then we'll start snugging them down the cross pattern. There goes somebody with a quad down the road. That looks like fun. Razor or whatever it is. Don't you lose that, John. You break that. That's about $130. The last time I checked, it's probably $230 now. Probably still be cheaper than paying someone to do it. But hey, I'm not against someone else doing it. If you have the money to pay people to do it, I'm happy for you. I never did. I never had the money to. It's hard to have that kind of money. I see why people buy new cars, because they just want to deal with fixing a used one. But you know what? You can do it. It's not that difficult. Be careful. This one. I did the top one, let's do the bottom. And then the last one on the bottom. What was the top? I think it was the top. I don't know if I can get that from over here. Yeah, I can. Much easier. All right. All right. I'm gonna get my brand new Husky, and I don't know if these are the best price. You know, I've liked my last one, but maybe Craftsman makes a good one. I'm sure Snap-on makes a great one. But I mean, if you can afford Snap-on tools, you probably can afford someone to fix your car too. They're good tools. Hey, I've had a few and they're awesome if you can afford them. All right, so 47 foot-pounds. Foot-pounds. What is that? This is weird. Newton meters. Okay, so that's 50, 58, 57. It's like a half. That's weird. All right, 47. All right. And we are going to go tighten it. All right. Hope I can get my wrench in there. It's a little bit bigger than my other one. All right, here we go. There he goes, 47 foot-pounds. There it is. That was easy. I'm gonna do the bottom one on this side. Can I get that in there without the... That could be tricky. I wonder if I can go this way. There's the... I can get it in there, but I don't know how much range I have. Yeah, I can't think that's already that too.
How's it going?
Good. And making a cameo.
Awesome.
Alright. I just like it. I'm not. I think it's good. I'm just gonna double check it with my wrench here just to see if it feels right. It just seems too light to me. But there's a lot of leverage on this thing. It's a lot longer than this wrench, so it just seemed too easy. Oh yeah, it's on there. Yeah, it's on there. Oh, yep. Everything's snug as a bug in a rug. Yeah, so what's that one? Checking this one just for the... You don't want your hub falling off if you're going down the road. That's a bad day. Yeah, it's on there. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put this sensor back in. I like to clean it off. I don't want to spray it with anything. I don't think I need to. Well, probably if you had something caustic, that would be good. It just has a magnet in there. It senses when the hub is turning. Yeah, it looks... Honda did something different because you could not get these off back in the day. They were so rusted. You could count on basically replacing it. So I need that 10 millimeter. That's this guy. I'm just gonna snug him down. I won't even need a torque wrench because he wasn't on there tight, remember? It just has to be snug. Snug enough. All right, last thing, we're gonna put the rotor back on. And trickiest thing is just trying to remember. You just have to figure out which way, where it lines up. Wrong way. Yeah, I'm sure you can buy these. You can buy these screws at probably Ace Hardware or wherever. I just don't know the thread count. You could probably ask Grok. He'll know. Let's ask him. Let's see if he knows. I don't know what they call those things. The removable bolt for a hub? Let's see. What is the size of the bolt that removes the rear hub on a 2016 CRV? Bolts are commonly bolts are usually no. Let's see, they don't know. Different. No. I'm referring to the two screws that go through the hub, or actually the wheel disc, to push on the hub to remove the wheel disc. You're referring to the brake rotor screws, something called the rotor retaining screws or disc. The two small screws that secure the brake rotor. No, it's not those. Size of the brake rotor screws, M8 by 125. No, see, they're talking about. Well, no, he doesn't know. Probably if you keep asking, you'll find out. But it's a 12mm head, and probably any 12. I think I took this off an engine, off a Honda. Probably any 12mm head, whatever that thread is, that's the right size. All right. It's gotta go here. There we go. I'll get it right sooner or later. This makes sure that the rotor is tight against the hub, because you could put it on there crooked and then get the wheel over top of it. That thing's not on there right. There we go. All right. So last thing we need to do is put our caliper back on. And you know, I didn't pry it apart much, so it's going to be a tight fit going back on. Nope, it goes right on. There we go. And line up the two bolts that we have here. Probably should figure out what these are supposed to be. If I had to guess, I'd say about 32. Foot-pounds. Let's ask. Glockenspiel. What should the bolts be torqued to on the rear brake caliper of a 2016 CRV? $23 foot-pounds. Sounds about right. You could probably just feel that with your hands. I don't think if you torqued it to 30, if it would be bad. We're gonna just see how close I was with my torque wrench. All right, 23 foot-pounds, you say, huh? Newton meters. 30, 38. 36, 34, 2, 20, 28, 26, 25, 23. All right. See how close it was. Oh yeah, it was already on there. I'm good. It's good. Okay. Last thing, that retaining clip that we have here for the brake, put him back on, or the brake line. This is that 12mm bolt. You don't have to torque this to anything special. Probably 8 foot-pounds on it. All right, now, there is one very important thing that we forgot. I didn't forget, but this guy has to be back on there at, what was it supposed to be, 134? 104? I don't remember, I have to go back and look. But he's got to be torqued to the right. And we got to put the brake, or the parking brake back on because he'll spin. So, put the parking brake back on. Press it down to engage it, and then you got to press it again to release it, which seems counterintuitive, but it works. All right, so you know what though? I'm gonna need I don't know if I have a 32. I don't think my biggest socket is 32 for that's a 1/2-inch drive. It's what, 27. I wonder if I have a I'm gonna need a conversion, like a 1/2-inch to 3/4 conversion for my torque wrench. So if you do this, you're gonna have to buy a 32mm socket to fit your torque wrench. I think that's the best way to go. If you got it close, this peg is probably gonna line up. It's close right there, but I'm gonna go see if I have I don't know if I have a conversion for this or not. I'd like to check it to see. It's pretty darn close the way it is, but I'm gonna go see if I can find that, and I'll be back a little bit. Okay, I couldn't find an adapter, which I didn't think I had one, but look what I did find. A socket that fits. It's 1 1/4, so it's not metric, but that's the size. So let's see how close I was. Typically when you see, here's where that was pinged in on that keyway. Typically when you get it back there, I've noticed it just seems to be that's the right spot. It doesn't need to be torqued much more than that. Usually the nut goes on to the same spot. But let's see. Just felt like, man, that just seems too loose. All right, what was it supposed to be? Do you remember? Hold on. Do you think Grok's still have it on my Grok screen here? 80 foot-pounds, 134. All right, 134. So, I do like the way this handle works. This is kind of cool. Some things I like about this better, and some I like the precision of my other one better. But all right, so that's, man, it's cranking up there though. 130, 1, 2, 3, 4. 130 foot jiffies. All right, here we go. Right there. And it's just about right. Okay. So, now we just have to ping that nut on. I can't imagine that thing just falling off, but apparently this helps if you ping it back on. Watch where you're hammering. Don't watch this part because you're gonna hit your fingers. Whoop. That's on there. All right. Turn the brake back off. No, let's leave it on because we're gonna have to torque that tire down too. I won't have the. But I believe we got everything. Let's double check. The wheel sensor is in there. The strain relief is in there. The clamps the 2 bolts that clamp the brake calipers in there, and the 4 bolts to hold the hub on, and that nut. And this video was 35 minutes long. With 2 minutes, took us 37 minutes to do that. Hold on, I haven't put the tire on yet, okay? But it's gonna be less than an hour to do this job. I don't know what a dealership would charge you, but I bet at least $200 in labor, plus the part. And they usually don't give you a deal on the part. They usually charge full price on the part. I think I bought this for, I think these hubs were 150 bucks each. Is that right? Don't quote me. But you can find them online, usually cheaper than what a dealer is going to charge you when he puts it on. That's all. Got it right there. And like I said, nothing wrong with dealers. They got to make a living too. And mechanics and all that kind of stuff. But hey, you got to make a living too. You got to live. When you get to the point where, you know, I could afford to take it to a dealer now. But I just like the convenience of doing it myself. And if I do it wrong, it's my fault. If the dealer does it wrong, then I'm mad at the dealer. So I don't have to be mad at the dealer if something happens. Alright. I've done stuff wrong before. And I've had dealers do things wrong before. I had one. I had a dealer do, what was it? I think he changed the front half shaft on my 87 Accord. And this dealer's no longer in business, so I won't even give you his name, but he's not in business anymore. But it was a Honda dealer. And it just, boy, my car just felt a little bit loose. Not tight like a slot car like it used to be. There's a road in Grand Rapids called the S-Curve, right downtown. And you go one way, then you go the other. And it's like, man, this just doesn't feel right. So I took it back to Honda, and I says, hey, something just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel tight. And they looked at it, looked it over. No, we don't see anything wrong. I says, well, if you can tell me that's the way it's supposed to be, I can live with it. It just doesn't feel like it used to. Yeah, everything's right. I said, okay. It's about lunchtime, so I took the car to the Rotten Cow burger shop in Grand Rapids. And as I pulled out of the driveway, out of that fast food joint, my wheel fell off my car. The whole wheel hub assembly, right in the middle of the road, East Paris in Grand Rapids, at lunchtime. And I went right to the dealer, but this is before cell phones. I had to borrow the phone at the fast food joint. He says, hey, my wheel just fell off my car. I'll be right there. The mechanic came right out, and he realized he didn't put the castle nut on the bottom of the lower control arm. That's what holds your hub on the bottom part. And when I came out that driveway, it extended the suspension enough that that thing popped right off. So, yeah, dealers can make mistakes. I didn't chew them out or anything. I just had them fix it, but there was no problem. But if that would have happened when I was going through the S-curve at 65, 70 miles an hour, there could have been a lot of problems. So, just a story. The dealer is no longer in business. Ooh, don't tighten it. This has to be 80 foot-pounds. Don't do 130 on this one. And he's a good dealer. I would go back to him. I bought a car from him. It's just people make mistakes, guys. They make mistakes. And he made it right. They fixed it. So, I'm just saying, dealers make mistakes, you make mistakes. You can fix it. That one's on there. I'm going to do a crisscross pattern. 80 foot-pounds. This is so easy with this wrench. This is longer than my other one, and man, it's got some torque action. I always like to test them one more time. Just make sure I got them all. Alright, there it is. I'm gonna raise it back up to take that jack stand out. Let me back you up so you can watch this. Whenever you're underneath a car, even if it's got a jack stand, if I'm going underneath the car, I'm gonna have 2 jack stands and a jack. I don't trust just one. I don't trust just 2. I have 3 things, at least 3 things holding it up, because things can fail. But even right now, I'd be careful, because what if that jack fell right now? Okay, I'm out of the way, so if this thing fell, it might bump my head, but it's not gonna crush me. Take the jack stand out of the way. There's nothing holding it other than the jack. Go down slowly. And we're done. I'm going to take it for a test drive. Hopefully it's nice and quiet. Even if it isn't, it's new. Well, I just took it for a test drive and it rides well. It's quiet. That was the issue, that rear wheel bearing. On to the next project.